folks, and welcome to this premium analysis of Pfizer Incorporated. And so I've been watching this stock for quite some time. Ever since the pandemic started, I watched it rally, and I've watched its rapid decline. And we have also seen a significant amount of information be released by scientists and doctors, but also the internal documents that Pfizer has created in order to bring light to a lot of the health and safety issues pertaining to these COVID vaccines. It's begun to surface, and they requested a very long time, 75 years, for this data to be released, and that should immediately, cause people's alarm bells to go off. And so ever since these vaccines rolled out, I started to watch this. Okay, and I can see super clearly that we are seeing a very clear unwinding of positions in this stock. And you can see this very clearly here. So I'm just going to walk through some of the clues that should lead us to draw this conclusion. We can also begin to identify some areas at which we could sell this stock at. Okay, so we have, whenever you look at a price chart of anything, you want to look at the structure that the price makes over time. Okay, and price will revisit highs and lows and supply and demand, and it will typically respect these areas. Why? Because these are historically attractive prices at which to sell and buy a stock at. Okay, so when a price goes up to an area and turns around, it can be a reason of two things. It can be exiting long positions, but it can also be selling at supply at premium prices. And so what we're seeing here, just here in this move here, this is a really clear and unmistakable sign that someone is unwinding their long positions. So we can draw two conclusions. We could say, well, why are they selling their stocks? Well, we don't know. They could be people who were involved in the stock early on, but they could also be people who are now entering the market short, betting against the future of Pfizer, based on the information that's coming out relating to this health and safety data. Okay, so if we look at the structure of the price, this is what I like to focus on. So we have these historically respected areas. So there's consensus that a given low price is cheap or a given high price is expensive, at which we can respectively buy and sell. Okay, and so we have this trend line. Okay, price goes from the low to the high. We form a higher low, and then we manage to breach this high. Okay, so that tells us something about the price level here. Okay, because we're able to move above this high just here. Okay, and so if we look at that and we focus on the fact that the trend line was breached, and we can see that prior to that we had a price point here, this area of demand. It was tested once, and now it has been removed. Okay, and so this is a big deal. We have two strikes against the future performance of the stock. That is, number one, market structure is breaking down. Number two, supply is in control. Those are two really big points, especially the fact that supply is in control, which is telling us that the thin side of the market is lower. Okay, so price will continue to move through thin liquidity and away from thick liquidity. So we're probably going to see speculators begin to sell at higher Pfizer prices. Okay, so let's have a look at where these quote unquote these high prices could be. Okay, so we have this major turning point here. Okay, we know this is a major turning point because price was able to rally away from this area here. And we can see now that price has managed to move away from it. And we have this very clear area of supply on the 4-hour chart. We had a nice little gap lower there here. This is at the $53 price point. Okay, but you can see that we have a small pause in price here, and then this is the origin of the move that managed to cause price to essentially clear out the order book to about this price point here. Okay, so if we go to, let's say, the 1-hour chart, just to see if we can identify any patterns, you can see here again really clearly that we have this one just here. This is a really clear price point. This is around, this is about $52. Okay, so this is a really interesting area here. We also have this price here. This is at $54. So these are two really interesting prices at which to keep an eye on for shorting this stock. Okay, we had this area here. Okay, this is the one we focused on the 4-hour chart. It was tested. Now it's been removed by this area here. This is the area of supply that was formed prior to the removal of this area of demand. Okay, this is really important. You have to chain these areas of supply and demand onto one another, because you need to be able to gauge the strength of an area of supply or demand based on what it's able to achieve. And in trading, achieving something is able to consume the liquidity in the opposing side of the market. So we had a super interesting departure here. There's a lot of selling at this price point here. Price was able to remove this. Okay, we have a sell zone, which is here, and a sell zone is simply showing us where we had attempts to move higher and failures. Okay, so we want to find the one that is closest to the area of supply. We have that here, and then price broke away. So this is the sell zone, which lines up beautifully with this this retest of this area here. So I'm thinking if price comes up to the 50, what is that, $50.50 price point, this is when we'll begin to see shorting of this stock as price moves higher. We also have this liquidity void just here, so I'm thinking that price could easily move back up into this and potentially even as high as this. But if price comes up here, then I think we're going to see some enormous selling. We want to get above this little price point here. So keep your eyes on this one here and this one here, but also this sell zone just here, as I think this is where price of Pfizer is going to begin to move much, much lower. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you very much for watching.